than your currency. Splurging millions, buying houses like Monopoly. Fucking 9 to 5, man, the money is a joke to me. Buying cryptocurrency, my money in the privacy. I make it rain dollars, they watch me disappear. I'm so...
Hey guys and girls, welcome to this week's episode of the B.Invested Birchy podcast. I'm your host, Nathan Birch, and this is a show unraveling the truth to the facade of 21st century. We're now exiting the Matrix and waking up to motherfucking reality. And the Matrix, right? As Morpheus said, the Matrix is all around us. We can see it, we can taste it, we can feel it. It's all around us from the decisions we make when we get up, to whatever we're doing in the world. We're stuck in the Matrix. And each and every one of us, right? I talk about in the song, intro song to this, we're in the Matrix, right? We want to try and escape the Matrix. I think everybody's role in life should be trying to live life on their terms, to do what they want, when they want. And, you look at things around us in life, right? And I think as humans, we're stuck and we're, put inside of the Matrix where we can't question, we can't, we have so many false prophets that are around us, right? Whether it be our idols we look up to, TV star, sports star, politician, whatever the case may be. It's all these idols, but you really look at them and it's like, well, what power do they really have? Who's controlling these guys, right? And that's, just the start of the Matrix, right? Like everyone thinks, the politician, the prime minister, the premier, the president, whatever the case may be. But what about, people go, the big evil people, right? It could be, the corporations. It could be the Elon Musk, the bad guy. It could be the Warren Buffett, that's the bad guy. The Bill Gates is the bad guy. Then it's like, okay, well, who's funding these guys? Who's keeping them, liquid, and who's the one that's using them? They're just, a part of the chess piece as well. And if you look deep down in the Matrix, there's, 13 layers of 13 different families that are there, that are part of the Matrix that sort of control us, right? And I don't want to go into the conspiracy side of it today, right? But just to go back like 50 steps from there, right? And as we drive to the office every day or wherever you're going to work, you would drive past, or just think about all the houses on the street, right? There's, 10 houses on your street, they're worth $1 million. There's $10 million just by the time you exit your street, right? You drive past the office building, you look at an office building. People are always amazed. They come to my office and I tell them, my office cost me $2 million and it's, it's shit, right? For $2 million, you'd expect a lot more than that. But it cost me $2 million. They're like, what, for the whole building? It's like, no, $2 million just for the little office suite, right? And then, I've got multiples in here that I have to, find more space. Sometimes I rent them, sometimes I buy them, a range of different things. And when you look at an office building, like our office building, it's nothing sexy. It's just a decent location and all that. The land is probably worth about $50 million that it sits on. The building is probably worth another $50 million that sits on it to build. There's, I don't even know, I think there's maybe 60 units in here, 70 units in here. I don't know, there's, $2 million a piece. You add it all up. And then if there's 10 of these office buildings just in a stretch before you turn out to the next street, well, then there's, $1 billion, $2 billion just before you left the street. You think about it and think, okay, well, who funded that? Who made the money? Who is delivering the money? Who are the people in all those buildings? Who are the people that are able to go and afford those things? What are the businesses that are in there? What are the industries that are in there? I always like to look at businesses nowadays. Now, the more invested that I am in businesses, right? I always talk about properties with you guys, but I'm also very invested in different businesses. I made the joke one day that I own a bloody Chinese restaurant, right? And I saw dim sims and curry prawn and rice, or whatever the case may be. I've never stepped foot in the place, right? I'm an investor. I buy shit. And I sit there and think about all these other businesses that are out there, the trucks that are on the road, who owns the trucks, right? Who finances those trucks that deliver our food? And I think to myself, okay, who owns these things? Who owns the assets? Who owns everything that's around us? And there's lots of businesses that I've tried to get into. There's lots of businesses that I own. And there's lots of things that I'm not good at in life. I've realized the more things that I do, the more things that I'm actually pretty shit at. But there's some cool things that I'm very, very good at. And that's processes, systems, and procedures. And that's how I can sort of scale things. And I sit there and I need to have very good people around me, right? And I sit there and think, okay, if I try and do this on my own, I try and take over the world and conquer the whole world myself, how far will I really get? I'll fail, I'll trip over, I'll fumble, I'll do things that, don't add up. And it's because I don't have the experience in that. So it's important to have the people around you that can help you in order to be able to get there. So, whether it be simple as the newest venture being the motels, right? I'm great at buying properties that are below market value. I'm great at doing deals, but am I good at managing hundreds of staff? No. Am I good at managing those managers? Probably not the best, right? So I need to have processes and scale, just like I have with my other businesses, go and scale out from having a chain of commands and different types of people and different experts of what they do inside of those business units. And, if you look at, just back to the property aspect, right? I was to take it back to the property. If we go and think about, okay, we can buy a property, everyone can go buy a property. There's no problem going and buy a property. People say it's too hard to go and buy $1 million property. People go and buy millions of dollars worth of property. They can't afford $1 million worth of property. They can't afford to pay the mortgage. They can't afford to keep it, but somehow they get into the door of buying a property. But that only gets them to one property. That only gets them to two properties. If you go and look at the ABS statistics and the ATO numbers, the people that have more than 6 properties are still under 20,000 people. Probably half the people watching the video have 6 or more properties, right? You're in an elite little group of people because you're researching, you're trying to improve yourself, you're trying to get the knowledge, you're trying to research it, right? People know that they can make money from property, but why don't they do it? It's all too hard, it's this, it's that, the next thing. So you can give, out of any of those businesses that are out there on the street that you drive down on a daily basis, how many times have you sat there and gone, okay, how can I be one of those businesses? How can I be one of those places? If they gave you all the 11 herbs and spices at KFC and said, hey, go and take the 11 secret herbs and spices and go and build yourself a chicken burger, a chicken franchise, chicken whatever, how far are you going to get? Because you haven't got all the other parts of bits of gold to be able to go and make that happen. That's why it's important to have, the team around you, right? And something that I do specialize in very, very much so is being able to supply with, the consumer and the wider and greater community, the people that have been able to help me get there and trying to break it down into a systemized process way that people can repeat and, recycle and rinse and repeat the same sort of successes that I've had and I continue to do on a daily basis. And, I think a lot of people watch these videos. I've had millions of views, my videos, my podcasts, and all that over the years. But how many people go out there? You've got millions of people watching the videos, but I ain't seen millions of people that own 6 or more properties, right? They might see a part of it, they may get it, but they haven't, become, extremely disciplined about that. And what I mean by being disciplined on that front is looking at, people are disciplined because they're forced to be disciplined, right? People are disciplined because they can't step out of line at work. They can't step out of line in the matrix. They can't step out of line and say, fuck it, I want to leave it, right? Because they're stuck. If they quit their job, they don't do this, they don't do that, they can't afford the bills, they lose their family, lose their house, they lose the food, don't have a roof over their head, they're homeless, right? So people are trapped inside the matrix, and that's why I was talking about the matrix. You're going to be disciplined anyway, right? You're going to be forced to be disciplined in the matrix, or you can be disciplined on yourself and have processes and procedures and systems and whatnot in place to be able to escape from the matrix. And that's where I think it really comes down to you being disciplined, right? I see people on a daily basis making millions of dollars in property. They say, every deal that I come across, I'm constantly looking at properties, right? I negotiate on probably 500, 600 properties a week, and I might, get a handful of them, right? But out of all those properties, I'm seeing everything that's in the market. I'm analysing the data that's out there. I'm seeing who made money, who didn't make money, who's making money today, who's not making money today. And I'm blessed by being able to see that data really in the trenches and being able to, and that's national as a litmus test over the whole markets. And then seeing, okay, how did someone make $1 million on a property, right? They might have been disciplined and had to hold it for 5 years. They might have been disciplined to have to get the deposit to save up. They might have been disciplined to do whatever. You've got people that are making $1 million in one deal. It might have been a 2-year process or a 3-year process or a 1-year process or a 5-year process, and they may feel unfulfilled by making $1 million. You got, Sally here that's driving on the bus every day to work. She leaves home and she gets up at 6 o'clock, brushes her teeth, has a shower, puts her lipstick on, hops in the bus at 7 o'clock, goes to the city, gets there at 8:30, gets a coffee, trying to be awake, sits in a job, works all day, good little slave, good little employee. And, I say that with respect, right? I say it because people are trapped, right? And I've been there my whole life, right? I'm always trying to push forward. I'm always trying to push out, right? And Sally works a whole day there. She gets to hop on the bus at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, hop back on the bus, drive back home, get home at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, eat, watch a bit of TV, try and relax because it's been a stressful day. I get 10 minutes with the kids. Kids have been out to an indoctrination camp getting programmed by other people because they're not allowed to go and program the kids. They're not allowed to have influence because, Sally's stuck on being stuck in that system, right? And then after she does that for the whole year, she gets 50 grand, right? That's 20 years of Sally losing her life that someone makes in one deal, right? How does someone make, is it fair that someone makes it, or have they just cracked the code, or they have a greater understanding and going, okay, hang on a second, is it by luck that someone makes $1 million? Sometimes it is, but ain't luck that tens of thousands of people be able to do that. So what is the formulas that are there? What are the disciplines that these people need to have? Who are the people that are doing this? What are they doing on a daily basis? How are they conducting their life? What choices are they making? What decisions are they making? How do they view the world? How are you viewing the world? Are you being stuck like Sally, or are you being, baller and making $1 million in 2 years or 3 years or 5 years in your property journey, or your business journey, whatever that may be, right? But being disciplined on that front. And I think, in order to get started, a lot of people will sit there and go, well, it's very hard to do so. It's very hard to, Nathan, it's okay for you to sit there with your rat's tail and say shit and have your cool jingle at the start of the podcast, right? You did this 20 years ago. You're not like me. You ain't starting out today, right? We just had a Christmas party, had hundreds of people turn up, had a few people hop on stage, heard some wonderful stories from people that I hadn't spoken to for 5 years that bought properties from me 11 years ago. They're like, oh, my wife's retired, 47 years old. I've got 3 cars that are cash, don't have to work. I'm setting my kids up now, whatever the case may be. If those people didn't do those decisions going back 10 years ago, they wouldn't be here to talk about it today. And it was just by chance that I was talking to the person at my own event that told me that that's their journey. There's people that have started in 2022 that have got double-digit property portfolio that had no properties going into 2022, and they're leaving 2022 going into 2023 with over 10 properties in their portfolio, right? I can say whatever I have to say. I don't really talk about myself that much when it comes to my personal portfolio nowadays, because people will sit there and go, well, it's a bit unrelatable, Nathan. You've got shit that you bought for 100 grand's worth, $1 million. Well, if I didn't make those decisions going back 10 years ago, I wouldn't be in this position where I am today to make that, right? What decisions, what actions are you taking today in order to be able to, get yourself to where you want to be? Where does it start, right? I used to work, right, 2 full-time jobs. 2003, it was really before I got my job, before I left school. I was working, crazy jobs, crazy hours whilst at school. The sales able to afford my first deposit at the age of 18. I worked two full-time jobs from the age of 18 to 18 to 25, 24. I sort of quit my first job, then I quit my second job when I hit 25. But I worked 2 full-time jobs. It was 1 year. I had 7 days off in the whole year. Most days, like 5 days out of 7, I was working 2 jobs. I was hustling. I was doing whatever I had to do to get 100 grand a year. I just wanted to earn 100 grand a year. My highest year of being an employee, I earned like $110,000. I took that money. I realized if everyone else is earning 50, 60, 70, 80 grand a year and I could earn 100 grand a year, I'll fucking work 2 full-time jobs, because that's what I need to do. I worked 2 full-time jobs. I then took all that cash. I kept my expenses as low as I could for that first 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. And I just invested everything, right? Because I've now got the upper advantage of all the people around me that I worked with, my colleagues, all that, because I had 2 years worth of compounding income, right? I didn't have all the expenses like most people did that I worked with. I didn't have kids. I didn't have a partner. I didn't have anything like that to tie me back. I just had myself. I lived at home. I was able to save as much as I could. I'd live on 10 grand a year, and then I'd invest 90 grand a year, and I'd go buy assets, right? What little things could you do, right? I bet you most of the people that are out there in the world, you're not sitting there watching Netflix because you're watching podcasts, you're trying to expand your knowledge base, but you go and look around you at your friends and family, and like, I'm surrounded by it still today myself, right? My family don't have the same mindset. They think I'm fucking weird, right? Probably I am, right? But I ain't watching the news. I ain't watching a fucking TV show that's been programmed there to program me and keep me trapped inside the matrix. These things are all, this has been happening for millennium, right? They used to have the charades, they'd give them the wine, and they'd have the gladiators come out and a bit of wine and bread, and people like get so excited because they're seeing the gladiators fight thousands of years ago, and then they go off and go and talk about that. That's the same thing as people spitting beer at the TV today, going, oh yeah, we won, when you didn't do anything, you just watch TV. With all that time, energy and effort that you have the same 24 hours that I do, the same 24 hours of people next to you, same 24 hours that all those people that own the big buildings in the city, same 24 hours of the people that own the big waterfront mansions out there. What are they doing in their time, right? Sally goes home. What's she doing on the 2 hours on the bus on the way home? What's she doing when she gets home at 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock at night, right? Is she going, oh yeah, I hate my life, I better get a wine, I better go and get a smoke, I better go and watch some Netflix, right, and chill, right? Netflix, I've seen Netflix, right? Someone left a Netflix subscription on, and occasionally I'll flick into it just for white noise in the background, and someone will want to watch it, they come over or whatever. And like, fuck, a lot of that stuff's demonic in there, right? Like, that's a different sort of topic, right? But my discipline is I don't want to watch that shit. I don't want to consume myself with that. I want to consume myself with knowledge. I want to consume myself with pushing forward. I want to consume myself with winning. I want to consume myself with shit that's going to get me better in life, not just sitting there like some lazy fat cat going, oh, I'm depressed about my life and shit, right? There's where all the mental illnesses are. Watch half these shows. You want to fucking, dye your hair a different colour and the fluoro colour and, chop body parts off if you want, right? That's, not what I want to subscribe to. But people are doing that. Someone could go to work from 9 to 5 and then get home at 6 o'clock, and between 6 and 9 o'clock at night, there's 3 hours a day, right? Are you building your business? Are you building your strategy? Building your exit? Building running away from being stuck in the matrix? Or are you going to let 1 decade pass, 2 decades pass, 3 decades pass, 4 decades pass, your life's passed, right? Getting too passionate here, guys, getting too passionate. But just one little thing, right? I said before, and I fucking sacrificed my youth, right? People go, oh, Birchy, you're still young, right? But I'm not as young as I used to be, right? And things I value now is very different because I don't give a fuck about money. I value my time. I value what I do with my time. I value with the people that I'm around. I value these things. I don't want to go out to the club and get fucked up and, do whatever. I want to go and enjoy my life. I want to go and spend that time. Those time I can't ever get back. So when I look at it, yes, I sacrificed my youth working 2 full-time jobs, but that's given me the ability to live life on my terms and do what I want to do nowadays. I don't have to do any of this. That's why I say funny shit all the time. I swear, I curse, I do all the different things that I just feel like doing because that's what I want to do, right? And I feel like, I've got a little niche where I can talk about that stuff. And some people I offend, good luck to it, right? But you're not going to get anything more authentic. You're not going to get anything more real, and you're not going to be able to go and listen to someone out there. Sure, there's lots of people out there that are billionaires and all that sort of stuff, but what are their agenda? What are they doing, right? Just a simple guy in Western Sydney. I broke out of my level of the matrix and worked up another couple of levels, but there's different levels to get out of, right? I still think there's more levels by the time I die, my kids, my grandkids, great-grandkids, that I can, go and change and all that. So I encourage for you to think about, okay, if I just work 1 extra hour a day, if you're on $25 an hour, oh, I can't get started. Getting in property is too hard in 2022, Birchy. This is fucked. I'm fucked. I'm depressed, right? Well, keep drinking Red Bulls, keep sitting there in front of your Netflix, keep sitting in mum's basement, keep getting the shits with life. That's a decision that you make. Are you disciplined, right? That's what it's going back to, the discipline thing. But with an extra hour, you just go, okay, fuck it, right? I'm going to go and work 1 hour extra a day, right? Could be doing whatever the fuck it is. Could be mowing a lawn. Could be doing whatever, right? 1 hour a day, that's $25, right? $25, 5 days a week, it's $125 a week. $125 a week times 52 weeks in a year, that's an extra $6,000 a year. What can you do with $6,000? How far is that going to get you ahead? 2 years, 3 years, working 2 hours extra a day, building a business, building something you can trade, something you can sell, something you can do different. What can you do to improve your position? It all starts from somewhere, right? If you are living okay with it at the moment, take the extra hour. You're probably fucking wasting it watching Netflix, probably watching football, whatever it may be, getting drunk. Being disciplined on that front. And I guess, looking at the markets out there, right? There's lots of excuses that we can have. There's lots of things that you can say, oh, that's bad, this is bad, the next thing's bad. In the media out there today, they're saying, okay, the market's going to bust, the bubble's going to bust, we're in a bubble, all that sort of stuff, right? I've heard this shit for 20 years, right? 2003, I bought my first property. We're now going into 2023. Someone's got to have a better excuse for not doing shit than, we're in a bubble. This is what's going to happen. The news told me this, right? Because let me tell you, everything I've seen in the news, I've been in the media over 100 times. There used to be, all the TV shows and all the magazines and everything like that. They have an agenda. All these stories that come out, they're not people coming to the media and saying, hey, I want to talk about this, I want to add some value. There's some media saying who's someone that we can get as a puppet or as an avatar and put them on the stage to put our verbal shit coming out of their mouth of what we have them to say, right? So I've been a part of that, and I see there's no value there. I've heard these stories over all the years. They're agendas that are from political parties, from lobbyist groups, from central banks, from from index funds, people coming out, the market's going to crash by 50%, and then they're going to short the market. They short the market, right? Because people get scared, they sell off some bank stocks and all that sort of stuff. It affects the mind, affects the psychology of people. So, I've seen all this shit, and just go back, right? Let's just go back through facts, right? 2003, the Sydney market turned to shit. People thought it was great. Everyone in Sydney go, 2003 is a good market. 2003 was shit, right? The market was going backwards. 2009, the GFC, people lost money, right? No, right? people lost money before the GFC. When the GFC came, a lot of people made money, right? And that was a recession, and which we allegedly averted. They just made a different type of Ponzi scheme on the day, right? And then you look back and you go, okay, well, 2009, yes, we had the biggest crash in the world, right? The world had a massive financial recession that occurred, right? And we're probably going to get something a hell of a lot worse than that in the next little while. But when we look at that, we go back, 10 years, 15 years ago, those properties that people buying in 2009 going, oh, I'm too scared, oh, fucking interest rates gone up, whatever, those things are tripled, quadrupled, 5x, 10x, right? People have got properties that have gone up 10 times in the last decade. And people go, oh, it's too scared, right? Where the biggest, weirdest thing that ever happened in our lives occur in 2020, right? The market was completely fucked in Sydney and Gold Coast and Brisbane and Melbourne and Perth in 2016, 17, 18, 19, leading up to 2020. And all these people came out and said, oh, the market's going to crash. This is what's going to happen. Well, markets had the biggest boom and they doubled or tripled in a lot of places, right? Did you listen to the media? Did you not, right? So taking action, it's always a thing, right? I've signed contracts for 20 years. Literally, from the day I could sign a fucking contract, I've been signing contracts collecting assets. Collecting assets of people that I bet you that every person I bought a property off for myself or one of my clients, the person that was on the other side of that transaction fucking regrets it because they're like, oh shit, I wish I didn't sell that thing, right? They sold it. Why? Why did someone sell the deal? Why did they let go of their asset? They let go of it because they go, oh, I'm scared of the market. I'm scared of interest rates. Can't afford it. They haven't planned well enough. Think about the reverse side of it, right? Yes, there's all these people making money. What about the people that regret and realize they lost the money because they didn't keep it? They didn't keep true to their plan. I see people all the time, right? I have single-handedly been the largest buyer of assets in the Southeast Queensland market, right? This is really cool, right? I'm really proud of this achievement. Bought over 6,000 properties in a period of 7 years, right? Stopped really being aggressive there probably 3 years ago. I was buying these properties, 50 properties a month for 7 years, and looking at the level of properties that we bought there, we bought so many cool sort of assets. Some people bought them and they sold them. I've seen those properties come up for sale. They've gotten rid of the asset. For whatever reason, they thought, oh, the market's bad or this or that or whatever the next case is. Those things have all tripled, right? Anyone that's bought there, if it hasn't doubled, right? I'd love to hear about it because they all have, right? But, there's been people that have bought, but then they've gotten scared. They haven't been true to their plan. They haven't been disciplined to their plan. They haven't had the strategy. They've had a strategy. They've gone off course, whatever the case might be. So, I guess, I said beforehand at our Christmas party, I saw people that have, bought properties 10 years ago, right? They're retired, their spouse retired, whatever the case might be, right? Once you have 5 properties, 10 properties, 20 properties, 30 properties, you hold them for a period of time, you've got options, right? Inflation is doing a thing, right? We talk about the markets and all these sort of things. Inflation is doing a thing which is so lazy. I love the property game because I don't need to be smart, right? I used to think I was smart. I'm not that fucking smart, right? I'm not that smart. I just am committed, right? You can see that there's probably smarter people out there. There's probably people doing other stuff, but you ain't going to find someone as fucking committed as myself, right? You ain't going to see someone that's going, okay, I'm determined to crack this code. I'm determined to push forward. I'm determined. This is my way. And write 50 different ways to be able to get to the end goal. Write 50 different ways and go, okay, if that one doesn't work, and try and remove all the risk and then take action. And I think probably the last one is a lot of people think, it's hard to get a loan, right? People don't realize that this game of property investing, it's not about the property. Screw the property, right? It's about the finance game. It's not the property game. Everyone thinks it's a property game. Property is just the asset to play with or the vehicle to play with, but it's a finance game. Without finance, no one will have a value of their property. My properties won't be what they're worth. Your properties won't be what they're worth. No value anywhere, right? Would be in the biggest recession ever. And it's a finance game. When you understand how the finance works, how the money works, how the system works, that's how you can learn how to crack it, right? Realizing that the money never exists, realizing how inflation happens, realizing what the bank needs from you to be able to lend to you. That's why I can have 2 people that are on $100,000 a year, person A, person B. Person A goes and buys a house for $500,000, $1 million, lives in it, buys a car, gets a car loan, whatever the case may be. They look rich on the outside, right? Person B goes, hang on a second, I'm going to go get the same $1 million that this person got and go buy 6 properties for under $200,000 a piece, and they're going to rent out and bring me an extra $2,000 per week. That $2,000 a week means that they're not on $100,000 anymore. You've got person over here, person A, on $100,000 a year, but you've got person B that still has the same debt position, but they've got $100,000 from active income, $100,000 from the rental income coming from the property. So they're really on $200,000 a year. So that person's position now is double the person beside them, right? And I'm away to the office every day. I sit there and look at these houses. I'm thinking, fuck, they've got these big houses, big mortgages. They're trapped in the matrix, right? They're not able to escape because they've bought into the system. They believe the system. They've gone to the bank. They go, oh, give me the biggest loan that I can get. Give me the biggest place. They're going to try and impress their friends. They're going to try and impress this. They're going to try and impress that. But they haven't really taken the really time to go and plan and strategize and go, how am I going to get out of this? How am I going to push forward? How am I going to get to the life that I'm just living in the day-to-day swings and roundabouts of life? And when I go to the bank, and when I go and speak to the bank, and when I want to go and do business with the bank, I don't say, oh, please give me a loan, I deserve it or whatever. I want to present myself as going, fuck, they better give me money, right? And I've always done this when I've done it, and this is how we package up our investors with our finance team when the bank's giving mortgages to us, because we want to be able to position you to say, okay, this is why. This is a person's income. You might be on $100,000 a year, plus you've got another lot of rental income on another $100,000 a year. You're on $200,000 a year. This is the assets that you're bringing forward. It's a bit more like a business plan than just going and saying, oh, what can I have? Oh, what sort of money can I go get from the bank? Oh, please give me a loan. Please give me a loan. I want to buy a house. Can I get a house? I'll give you a 10% deposit, 20% deposit. No, you need to position yourself and be like, it's got to be attractive, right? You need to attract the bank to want to give you money, right? You need to have the energy. You need to be able to, be a sexy asset for the bank to want to gobble up. And how do you present yourself to the bank? It's like, hey, here's all my assets. This is what I'm doing. This is our plan. Would you like to take a mortgage out? Right? It's a bit of a different way of how you position yourself to the bank, to the financiers, and the way that you understand your position, the way you understand how the bank works. It all comes from knowledge. So I guess the big thing from today, people out there doing lots of cool shit. Lots of people out there not doing cool shit. There's more people out there doing less cool shit than the people that do cool shit. How do you become that person? How do you keep growing? You need to be disciplined. You need to have a plan. You need to have a strategy. You need to understand. You need to be open to it. You need to have a fucking open penile gland. You need to have an open third eye and go, okay, cool, this is how I'm going to look. I'm not going to look at so close-minded. This is all the world's ever going to be for me. You go, okay, cool. This guy's doing it. How to become him? What do I need to do? If you need help getting forward, being like everyone else, that I hang around, the people that we work with, reach out to us, 1300 367 925, email us admin@binvested.com.au. Make sure you subscribe, watch us, Google Play, Apple Play, Spotify, YouTube, and we're out every week with a new podcast. Catch up soon, have a great day. Bye for now.
Like Bilal said, man, we're stuck in the matrix. This my advice, don't care if you take it. The dollar back to die, soon to be hyperinflated. This my 2 cents, don't care if you save it. Joint be decentralized and you will see you've been lied to the whole time, and it's the irony, cause they do the exact opposite. You become a slave to the system, enough your money, all they do is profit. There's no conspiracy theory, you better hear me. Crypto will set you free before the system does. I don't care if you do or you don't, but what I'm saying is the truth to the reason you choke. I've never been a failure, excuse my behavior. Keep talking, haters doing me a favor. They all telling lies, I know what they been telling you. I'm the opposite, the Donald Trump of Australia. It's amazing, there for the taking. My time is never wasted, just getting wasted. These girls say I'm really breathtaking. I can't help it if I really misbehaving.